Hello guys, DJParson here, and I bring you the next stage of the World Championship. We are now in the stage 6 of 7, so just one more. We are just before the grand final. We have 16 players left, and 5 of these players will go to the next stage. So yeah, not a lot of these guys will make it, and these are 16 of the best. You can see 3 groups here. We have 1 upper bracket and 3 lower brackets. So 2 players from the uppers, the first 2 advance to the next stage, and then just the best one from each lower will advance as well. And the first game that I brought you here is one from lower 2, so let's get right into there. And in this group we have Wozniak, Marta, A440 and Pelino. We can take a quick look at the leaders and wonders. Hammurabi is taken already, Roman Roads, Colosseum. Let's look for the interesting ones. We do have Ocean Liner, we don't have the sewers. We have Red Cross, Manhattan, Project Pierre, Bill Gates, Einstein, a lot of computer leaders. Alright, so Wozniak takes Hammurabi. Martin, probably Roman Roads in one of the leaders. Decides to go with the Hippocrates. A440 grabs Alexander and Rich Land. And then last but not least, Paulino will go for Confucius for 3 and then gets 1 stockpile as well. Could have gone for Caesar clauses, very aggressive start, but decides against it. We will go into H1. I mean, it's always interesting to see, will these players play very risky? I mean, just the best one of these will make it to the next round. And this 4-player game is quite important, because here you get the most points. And here you also see your opponents, all of your opponents in one game. So this 4-player match is very interesting. Martin will build a mine, goes for Hippocrates, increases pop, and grabs urban growth. 44, Alexander, mine, grabs engineering genius, doesn't pop here. Alright, and then Paulino goes for Confucius, will build a mine, increase pop, might grab Colosseum or play the stockpile, decides to grab that Colosseum. And then we are ready for the real game to start, now that the H1 cards are showing up. Engineering genius, grabbed for 3 civil actions from Wozniak, also building a lab. So he's ready to finish the pyramids next turn. We'll go and open the development of warfare. Remember, Alexander or A440 can't take that. Marta will grab masonry and urban growth, increases pop as well. 2 urban growths from HA. Alright, maybe he wants alchemies with that. A440 will go for lab, grabs irrigation, and grabs the Great Wall. So yeah, now that he has Great Wall, a little bit unlucky from that he doesn't get the 3 warrior. Paulino opens the next development, trade routes. Alright, he gets an alchemy here as well, will develop that. An upgrade 1, so he's going to go up to 2 science production, increases pop as well. Then we got a breakthrough and a monarchy here, could be very good for Wozniak. He will finish the pyramids now. Grabs the monarchy, grabs the patriotism, and he has 1 more civil action thanks to Hammurabi, and he will grab the breakthrough. Very good cards for him, a lot of civil actions, good start. Martin opens development of politics, so 3 extra cards. We'll go for the masonry and can just finish the Roman roads in 2 swift civil actions. Also builds an extra lab, shows the legion. Alright, so yeah, still searching probably for alchemies to use the masonry some more. A440 goes for early irrigations, can upgrade both of those. And increase population, so he's ready to build a lot of warriors. So yeah, once again, not perfect. He has the population to get that free warrior, but he wasn't able to do so when it came out. development of agriculture gives even more food. Then we get the Code of Laws grabbed by Paulino, also breakthrough. Two very nice cards, increases pop and starts building on the Colosseum. Shows the fighting band, so he's gonna go up to 3 strength. Rosnich will also push, alright, development of planning. Let me see really quickly what we get here. Development of science, crafts, or religion, and he will take the science. So that's an interesting one. Do you take the religion or the science? Both of it pretty, yeah, worth quite a lot. And Wozniak here takes the science to be able to go for that monarchy. With the breakthrough, he's going to go up to 3 science again. Then he grabs Nostradamus. Doesn't want to be the weakest. We'll elect him already. A ton of civilizations from the pyramids and the monarchy. Grabs knights, rich land, and builds an extra warrior to get out of corruption. And he can even grab the cartography. Alright, yeah, always a lot of things happening during his turn with all those civilizations. Martin up next probably wants a new leader, but first he will open the development of markets. Can increase population. Will build religion, so he also took the science, I guess. Yeah, he took the science. Can build a religion, gets out of corruption. Doesn't grab a new leader yet. Will build another warrior to get that legion. But yeah, properties is not doing anything anymore, so he needs a new leader, but I guess they will be coming down for his next turn. A440 takes the free religion, grabs Joan of Arc, so pretty nice combo. And he can, I guess, just build 2 warriors here. I mean, have quite a bit of worth thanks to the Great Wall that will be finished at some point. So he's gonna go up to 4 strength. Paulino now is the weakest, but he wants to push to get the extra science, and he will do that. He will open a scientific breakthrough. Everybody just getting 2 science here. Paulino also took the extra science. We'll go for monarchy here. Interesting that he didn't use the breakthrough. This is a big tell, or maybe a big tell that there could be, of course, the Dark Ages, or that he's just playing around it. He doesn't need more science next turn because he's gonna go up to 6. He probably wants just the Code of Laws. So I think that is nicely played by him, realizing he doesn't need to use the breakthrough. It's just unnecessary risk if there is the Dark Ages, or maybe he even played the Dark Ages himself. Rosnich opens an extra science from the Confucius card. Will grab alchemy, develop that, upgrade both if he wants to. That would give him a lot of science production, and he indeed. Up to 4 production, also develops the cartography and increases population. And now Martin could get the alchemies if that is still his plan, but he also needs a leader. But now there are Isabella and Michelangelo. But first we get a big territory, vast territory won by Wozniak. So he just went for the cartography, so that is paying itself already. Having to send 2 warriors, but still getting that vast territory worth a lot. Martin grabs Code of Laws, will develop that. Is also gonna go for Michelangelo. Could have gone for Isabella as well, so that's interesting. I mean, Michelangelo, there are 3 wonders left. He does have the combination with masonry, so maybe it's gonna be great. And then he also gets the alchemy, so next turn he can upgrade his science production quite nicely. Next card opened is another science for everybody here. And then we can see here 2 pops for A440. And he will start to build on the Great Wall. He's not afraid that he will lose the Engineering Genius. We have 13 cards left, so he should be safe to use that next turn. And then he also went for the Legion, so he's now the strongest. Rebellion will just hit Paulino, but the others don't lose anything. He loses 2 civil actions. He's gonna go for Code of Laws and finish his Colosseum. He also needs a new leader. I guess he could go for Saladin perhaps next turn. He should still be there on his following turn. And we get our first pact, the Trade Routes Agreement between Wozniak and Paulino. Not the highest impact pact, but nice to have nonetheless. And then we will see some knights from Wozniak. We'll build 1 and a warrior. Can increase population twice. Grabs irrigation and rich land. So next turn he probably wants to go for 2 irrigations. Doesn't show tactics, so he probably doesn't have the medieval army. But with Nostradamus, he's also not the weakest. Rats show up, and yeah, they get a little bit of a feast. 4 food from A440, 2, 2, and 1. So yeah, quite a bit of food lost. And then Martin will get the Forbidden City. Can finish that immediately. Also, again, thanks to that masonry. And he will grab reserves. He could have also grabbed Silk Road. Could have been interesting because there would be a lot of benefit from the masonry, but he decides he wants 2 reserves instead. And with all of his civil actions and not the best production, I think I agree with that. And then we see another cut, another science from Confucius. A440 can use indeed that engineering genius and finish the Great Wall, going up to 9 strength and even getting a swordsman. We'll develop them and upgrade, so 10 strength for him. Still a lot of food, production at least, a lot of population, and a lot of warriors. Uncertain borders get opened. A440 will get an extra yellow cube, stolen from Polino. Not that great for Polino, but he does get Saladin now, so more civil actions for him. Also an iron. Can develop that iron. Upgrade 1. Still has that stockpile from the first turn, but he will use it now to upgrade 1 more mine. So yeah, it did come in quite handy, and he actually decides to take the extra strength from Saladin and not the civil action. I think I agree with that. We get another colony. This time Martin is able to win it. Wozniak didn't go so high on that one. Ooh, that is quite expensive. Not sure if Martin really wanted to win this, or maybe just wanted to make it expensive for Wozniak. Very interesting indeed. I mean, it's just a strategic territory. It's only cards from H1. I guess you would assume that Wozniak would have sent the knights, and then he would have gone up to 4. So maybe Martin also bid up to 4, but then he had to fulfill after Wozniak just went up 3. So very interesting play from both of these players here. Iron now grabbed by Wozniak. After he also got that Machu Picchu, will go for irrigation first, builds a warrior, and goes for phalanx. So 8 plus 3 strength for him. Martin will start into H2, so he gets back 1 yellow cube. And he will push, even though he's the weakest, and we get another colony. A440 able to win this one. Very interesting that Wozniak doesn't want these, apparently. He could always send a knight, but he doesn't want to send a knight. So he won't be able to win the developed territory. So A440 wins this for a swordsman. Then Martin, indeed, he will be able to grab the Silk Road. Didn't have to do that last turn. Can build 1 stage, then use the reserves for rocks and even finish the Silk Road. He does exactly that and grabs the warfare. I mean, with the Silk Road, you want yellow cards. I could have also understood if he had grabbed something like the Frugality or even Cultural Heritage, 3 science and 3 culture. With that added bonus from the Silk Road. Silk Road would have been very nice, but I can also understand the warfare grab. He has a lot of science, doesn't have that many military actions. So yeah, I can understand that he wants the warfare now. A440 opens yet another science from Confucius. So much science gained from him. And then he will rebuild that swordsman, grabs knights, increases population, grabs urban growth and frugality. Doesn't want the iron. Maybe thinks it's too late at this point. Polino opens pestilence. Everybody will lose 1 population. And an early Nobel, yeah, definitely better than getting just the 2 strength from Saladin. Now he's gonna get 2 strength and 2 science production from Nobel. Go up to 6 science. Also grabbing efficient upgrade and upgrading that last iron. Still no food for him. Maybe needs some happy faces, but there is the bread and circus. Wozniak will go for an aggression. Martin, yeah, gets punished now for going for that high bid, sending 3 warriors away. So 3 rocks will be stolen from him. Increased population by Wozniak. He will go for the iron, and then he could finish. Okay, will build or upgrade 1 more and 1 more irrigation. Okay, I don't agree with the last irrigation upgrade. If he hadn't done that, he would be at 9 rocks next turn, and that would have been enough to finish the Machu Picchu. Now he won't have enough, so I don't agree with the last irrigation upgrade, but we will see. Maybe there's something else, maybe some cards coming up or something. Martin now doesn't have too many rocks. He will open the cultural influence. He has a lot of culture production, 4 already, thanks to that Silk Road and the Michelangelo. He gets very nice strategy for his science. He had a lot of science in his bank, and now he gets the strategy. Doesn't need the warfare after all, but he will now be safe from any aggressions. Can grab scientific method and grabs frugality, so for that he can use the Silk Road then. So yeah, he couldn't do much this turn because he lost 3 rocks to that aggression, but with getting the option here to go for the strategy, turns out to be an okay turn after all. Okay, and we do get the new deposits, so maybe Wozniak had played that and decided that he still, like this, now can finish the Machu Picchu. So yeah, quite a big production for Paulino and Wozniak, just the 3 for the other 2. Day 440 will go for more strength, it seems. Goes for the knights, grabs architecture, grabs organized religion, okay. Will build a knight and a warrior, or upgrades 1, 2 even. This is kind of looking like he has a war in hand. Next turn he could go for architecture, organized religion, and even get more strength from Joan of Arc, and then maybe has another knight, something like that. Could be a big turn next turn. If he has a big war over territory, he could declare that war, build 1 more knight. I guess then he doesn't have a new tactic, so I don't understand the knight really. We will see what his plan is. Paulino's up next. Border conflict. That's more rocks for A440. That's really nice for him. And Martin once again gets punished. So yeah, that high bid for that colony does come with quite a lot of punishments. Paulino now grabs the Kremlin. Won't finish it though this turn. I don't know if he couldn't, maybe. We'll build 1 stage. We'll build an arena to make up for the lost happy face from the Kremlin at a later point. We'll have corruption here because he won out the cavalryman. I think he could have gotten out of corruption if he had decided against it. Wozniak now also get the good harvest. Okay, so he has a ton of things in his bank now. He will easily finish the Machu Picchu. An increased population. Build a knight, going up to 10 plus 3 strength, and grabs journalism. So very, very solid production from him. Science, rocks, food, also military, civil actions, military actions looking okay. Yellow Bank still very good, thanks to that vast territory. So I think he has a very strong position now. Martin opens Inhabited. Paulino able to win this one. Paulino will win it for 2 warriors. Gets really, really weak from this. So A440 could go for an aggression, or maybe that war we suspect he might have. Martin has to destroy something, destroys a religion. Will then go for scientific method. Upgrade 1. Increase population quite a bit. He has a lot of pop now. Sadly, he doesn't really have good military techs, so he builds a warrior, but not more. Patriotism and breakthrough are really, really good, especially that patriotism, of course, gives an extra military action from the Silk Road. So this is always the best card, or one of the best cards to have with the Silk Road. 2 military actions and 4 rocks is quite good. So yeah, A440 could go for aggressions. Really interesting to see now what he will do. Nothing. Okay, that was underwhelming. No politics at all. Okay, then I don't really understand his last turn move. We'll go for cannon. I mean, maybe he's still setting up a bigger war or something. But if we look at this hand, he now goes for cannon. So if this H2 card is a tactic with cannons, then it can't be a war. So for me, it kind of feels like he's investing super much into military, but it's harder and harder to see how we will get an immediate benefit from it. So everybody else is upgrading their production. He's going for military, but not really getting that much out of it. So yeah, there we have it. It is the Napoleonic army, but he definitely doesn't have a war in hand. So interesting to see where he will get his benefits. I guess he had quite a lot of H1 events. I think he won the border conflict, the uncertain borders. Yeah, that's kind of it as far as military events go. 23 strength versus 3. Polino cancels the pact. Okay, didn't see much use in that anymore. We'll increase population, grabs can still no Kremlin. Wants to go for cannons instead. We'll build one. Another one. Shows fortifications. I mean, you don't really even have to be that afraid of A440. It has one H2 card that he just drew, so it's relatively unlikely that that is a war or an aggression. And if he has H1 aggressions, that they don't really hurt all that much. But Paulino still decides he doesn't want to be the weakest anymore. Grabs Engineering Genius, so he can still finish the Kremlin next turn. Wozniak goes to a new pact. He lost this the one before. Goes for the naval trade agreement with Martin. Martin gets 2 blue tokens. Wozniak another colonization. Then he grabs urban growth, architecture, and cavalryman. Will develop the cav, increase population, and then maybe build an extra cav. All right. He upgrades one more. He gets out of corruption. Shows the hussars, so 15 plus 3 strength for him. Martin now the weakest by far. He offers the pact of military protection to Wozniak, so that Martin would get 4 extra strength, but Wozniak says no to that. And then Martin gets Republic here, can go for it immediately. That really boosts his civil actions quite a lot. Also grabs cannons, so next turn he can go for cannons and copy that fortifications. But he has one turn ahead of him now here, where he will be quite weak. I don't think he can really upgrade his strength here. No. There would have been the possibility to go for two more warriors to go up in strength a little bit. Like this, there could be danger for him, but he has a lot of great cards in his hand. So if he survives the next round, or if he doesn't get punished, I think he is in a great position. He took quite a risk. Maybe he couldn't even do anything, so maybe it's not a risk. It's just like how the position is dictated by the game. But yeah, he has one turn now where he's really, really weak. But I think if nothing too much happens in the next round for him, he might be fine. Foray for A4 and 40 and Wozniak. Nice for them. Some extra rocks. And then A4 and 40 goes for an extra. Yeah, he doesn't have military actions. I don't understand his plan. I mean, sure, he's forcing some reactions from the others, but he's not really getting much out of it. Once again, he will just be drawing one card. I mean, he sets up nicely for maybe for next turn to have a revolution, but he's still just sitting on 3 rock production, so I can't really say that I'm too impressed by this play, because he's not getting that much out of it. Polino now will finish the Kremlin. Grabs selective breeding, can upgrade one with the efficient upgrade here. Maybe grab the reserves. Alright, we still see a lot of H1 leaders, and I guess there's still quite a few H2 leaders left for the other 3 guys. Wozniak pushes, opens call to arms, so some extra military cards drawn. civil cards, civil actions lost. Shakespeare for Wozniak. He will upgrade one more mine. Increase population twice. Builds another cavalryman. Upgrades one more. Get out of corruption and grabs frugality. Now what he needs is happy faces, so maybe Shakespeare will help him with that. And if we take a look, he has opera, journalism, and architecture. If he gets to research all of these, he will have very, very cheap opera and journalism, thanks to Shakespeare and the architecture, so it could be great. Martin now opens wealthy, and Polino will take it for a cannon. Not the greatest deal, but I guess get 3 blue cubes for it. Martin will go for cannons now as well. Has that patriotism, as I said, and I think he's now in a very great position. As I said, he didn't really get punished at all the last turn. I mean, sure, he lost to civil actions. He wasn't part of the foray, so some events, but they were just H1 events, and he didn't really get punished all that much. So now he's in a very good position, I think. We'll copy the fortifications, so he will go up to 17 strength, gets away from nationalism. He's going to use a lot of his yellow cards, but he has the wave now in hand as well, so we can use that for the Silk Road. Biggest problem for him is probably still his low rock protection, but with his civil actions and all the yellow cards, and now again with the wave, he's making up for it. So I think now he is in a good position. He's probably safe from aggressions from the others, and A4 and 40. Once again, 1 H2 card in hand, the other 2 aren't probably... Oh, he even has 1 aggression. Okay, so he had the enslave, now finally ready to go with that. But once again, 2 military actions lost. I mean, at least it's something. But he won't even go for the convent now. He will upgrade 1 temple. Yeah, see, now he's at 38 strength. He will lose a military... he will just draw 1 military action again. So all of this kind of feels like, especially the last turn, the extra cannon at knights, I don't really see how that was necessary. Yeah, I don't see him as a strong position going into H3 with this setup. We do get a pact, so this will help A4 and 40. At least 1 extra rock protection. Polino gets extra food. Upgrades to get even more food. Can increase population. Rebuild a cannon. Maybe even rebuild 2 cannons. 1 and 2, 17 strength. Grabs a rifleman, so he's ready. He's really ready for a military in H3. Has cavalryman and rifleman for reduced cost. And a lot of population, good rock protection. And yeah, still gets punished, so he just was able to go up to 17 strength, so he is the weakest now. We lose a pop. Wozniak now going for more of these cavalrymen, 33 strength from him. Goes for architecture. What's the plan here? He's still, oh, gets out of corruption. Gets out of the uprising. Has developed the journalism. Has 2 urban growths, so next turn he can build 1 journalism and then also go for operas. The problem is he still doesn't have enough happy faces. He just has the 1 happy face. He will lose 2 yellow cubes at the start of the next turn. I guess he can destroy warriors and then maybe start building some cheap operas. Oh, we'll actually even destroy a warrior right now. So, not sure why. Yeah, I guess military action efficient. Inhabited territory. Polino able to win this one once again for just a cannon. That's really good for him. Especially because he loses a population. Usually he would have had to destroy something. Now he just loses 1 idle worker. Then Martin can disband a warrior, build a cannon. 2 cannons even. Yeah, use the military actions now better than later. And he actually goes for, yeah, a rather late ocean liner. But he still, yeah, doesn't have food. He could have upgraded to selective, but I don't think this is necessarily bad. Biggest problem is he doesn't really have the rocks to go for it next turn. There's reserves. So let's see, grabs team sports. Probably on select Newton, yeah. grabs those reserves, so he has 5 plus 4 because of the Silk Road, so 9 rocks is not enough to finish the ocean liner, so we will see when he's able to finish it. H3 will start now. A440 has lost Joan of Arc, National Pride. Martin able to get the 5 extra culture. A440 goes for another cannon. Can go for a corn one now at least. Grabs Revolutionary Idea. And that's it. Doesn't even grab something like Justice System or so. Very interesting. Polino now opens Prosperity. 0 food for Martin, but 4 for A440. Fundamentalism grab by Polino. I mean, it's 28 science now. Goes for that. Fundamentalism and computers. Can increase population, maybe build a cannon. Yeah, make sure that you don't fall too far behind. I mean, now A440 has H3 cards. If he has a war, I mean, there's still potential for him. I don't think... I mean, at the beginning of H3, he's still going to be dangerous now, because he can't just build one knight. He's going to go up at 9 strength, so he's reaching the high 40 strength. But the longer the game goes, the less threatening he will be. As we see now, Polino preparing for exactly that with the fundamentalism, with more cannons. And the rest of the two are also not that bad as far as military goes. Wozniacki even trying an aggression on Polino, but Polino can defend. There's more players after that though, so we could see more aggressions versus Polino. And Wozniacki just using one military action to make Polino discard a lot of his cards. Only one card left in his hand. So yeah, very efficient aggression from Wozniacki here. That cost Polino quite a lot. Now we will see Wozniacki go for 1 journalism. Then he can research the opera cheaply. Now he's probably go for operas. As you can see, they now cost only 4 rocks because of the 2 discounts. Grabs military theory and has to disband another warrior. So yeah, 7 culture collection for him. Martin will go for the next aggression indeed. Polino can't defend this one. So 6 rocks gained and 2 alchemies lost for Polino. This raid being successful. That's a lot of rocks for Martin. This is so great for Martin. Can decide if he wants to finish the ocean liner, but it looks like he's gonna go for oil. So he can develop that. Upgrade 1. Can even grab the rail. Oh no, he can't. He still has the ocean liner, but yeah, finally going up to 7 rock production. Next turn could upgrade 1 more. So very early oil, that's just possible because of this aggression. And Polino, yeah, not being able to keep up. He sent away 2 cannons for these colonies. And then, I mean, he did everything he could. Went for the fundamentalism last turn, built the extra cannons. I guess you could say now something like, yeah, screw science. I'm not going to go for science. Replace a Nobel by another H3 leader. And then just ignore science completely. Or he can go for computers, but first he probably still needs cannons. And don't forget, A440 could go for another aggression. Let's see first what Martin goes for. Goes for satellites, grabs breakthrough and rifleman. So I'm very, very impressed by Martin's position now. A440 goes for war, but not against Polino, against Wozniacki. Alright, and then we will see a knight build of 48 strength. Catherine elected by him, right? He didn't have a leader yet from H2. Air Force is grabbed as well. Yeah, as I said at the beginning, now A440 can still be dangerous, but Wozniacki 8 rocks can defend a little bit, but not that efficiently. So you will lose some culture, but it's in the end, it's just culture, right? Lino builds a cannon, increases pop. So at least now he's safe from aggressions from anybody besides A440. He can pop quite often, get sufficient upgrade to maybe go for computers after all. But he has 0 science protection. Still has 16 in the bank though, luckily. Wozniacki now opens international agreement. Then let's see how he can defend. He will build 1 2 operas. Doesn't cost him a lot. Cost him just 2 rocks thanks to those 2 urban growths. Grabs tanks here. Maybe patriotism? No, will increase population. Build 1 more cavalryman. So he will lose culture here now, but culture is not the worst to lose this early in H3. Martin goes for pro sports, will indeed upgrade 1 more. Oil goes to Marie Curie, so yeah, very good Marie Curie position. The oil and the scientific methods, so 3 extra science production, 2 extra strength, and 3 culture production, of course. Then grabs patriotism and military build-up. Yeah, last thing he needs now is some way to produce culture, probably. Doesn't seem too likely that he can go for wars. He can't grab wonders because of the ocean liner. But he does have a lot of science. I could go for movies, stuff like that. It's the last movie though, so maybe he's gonna look for multimedia instead. So a 440 will win the war, stealing 19 culture. Will skip his politics phase to draw 3 cards and will actually go for computers. Can upgrade that and then go for Bill Gates. This could really turn the game for him a little bit. Will go for 1 computer upgrade. Goes for Bill Gates. So 7 rocks for him. So finally getting more rock production and military theory. Still not a lot of culture production, so he's still probably gonna go for more military. Goes probably then for air forces, can build up to 3 air forces to really get a lot of strength. So don't rule him out. Now I think this was a great move to go for the computer. Still don't see the most potential from him though. Ravager of Time will hit. Colosseum is going to be gone before Paulino can go for Rifleman and Cavalryman. And then Great Wall will also be lost. So that's quite a lot of strength lost for A440. That's 6 strength gone from the Great Wall. Air Forces grab for Paulino. And go for that. I mean, he has a very weak position now. No science production. Not a lot of culture production. His only option is really war, so that's why he's gonna go for the air forces. Has to try to get a war against Wozniak or Martin. So, yeah, I guess he also thinks Red Cross can help him. He has a lot of food, so I think I agree with that. The others have food, all besides Martin. He could have, he has reserves though, so he's not gonna get the best Red Cross. But a good way to use some of his food to get a little bit of culture. Wozniak gets Chaplain, will help him to get out of the happy face issues, goes for military theory, builds 1 more knight, and grabs internet, 44 strength from him now. I mean, it's a lot of knights, and cavalrymen especially. Martin finishes still that ocean liner, gets free population now. Use the military build-up for 10 extra rocks, can build 2 free cannons. That is really great. 43 strength, grabs those movies. He did get them after all, and even can grab himself the space flight and a ton of science, so this could be really, really big wonder. So I still like Martin's position quite a lot. Now is, with his rock production, with the patriotisms, great position to defend. A 440 opens Cold War. Nice for him and Wozniak getting the extra science, so he could go for military theory, but decides to go for engineering first. Upgrade 1 computers. Go for pro sports and can even build 1 thanks to that architecture. So 10 rock production, 10 science, still only 3 culture. So he's stabilizing, I would say. Getting 2 computers with Bill Gates is going to give you a better end of H3, or overall H3 gameplay. But he's caught up now in strength. International tourism, Paulino with Martin. And Martin has a lot of wonders, so this gives Paulino 4 extra culture production. That's really great for him, and also I think very clearly for Martin that Paulino is not going to be his biggest competitor. I think if you look at this realistically, Paulino won't really be able to make any competition for Martin's position. So Martin's definitely in the race for first position, and I wouldn't rule the other two out either. But Polino is probably trying to fight for maybe second place, maybe third place. And I think Martin has the best position at the moment, so I think I agree with him accepting this pact, even though it gives Polino a lot more. Polino gets one more production cycle and gets double the culture that Martin is getting, so yeah, it will be a lot better for Polino, but I still think I agree with Martin's decision to go for it. Polino then will go for Pierre, and Pierre can be a nice way to get even more culture production. Can build one. Sides not build two more, but he could go out for two more brand circuses, so will even go up to 16 culture protection. But he wants the revolutionary idea now. As I said, 0 science protection. The revolutionary ideas allow him for one more H3 take. Gonna make progress. A lot of rocks for Martin, some for Polino. Yeah, very mixed bag here, but a lot of food for Polino. We still, by the way, have this red cross, and nobody wanted to build any stages here. I mean, Polino now with 20 food. But Wozniak first will go for grab Air Forces, grabs Democracy. Destroys the knight he built recently to build one more journalism. And that's it. Okay, just grabbing some cards. Is a little bit weaker, but I don't think weak enough for the others to try aggressions. And then Martin could go for 2 movies here. Destroy the mine, perhaps. No, doesn't even have to, can just use the reserves. Oh, use the reserves to build a stage of the Red Cross, I think, yeah. So does he want to build... No, he doesn't want to build another movies. Goes for selected breeding, tanks, reserves. Destroys a farm. And then builds the movies. Okay, but next turn he's ready to upgrade his food production a little bit again. So he actually fulfills the Nobel Prize and goes up to 17 culture production. A440 opens strategic territory. Martin will take this for a cannon. Strategic territory giving H3 cards, quite nice. A440 builds another computer, grabs reserves, and also grabs himself a Manhattan project. I mean, yeah, I think he's not doing too bad. He still doesn't really have culture production, so this project could help, or he still needs to go for war. I mean, next turn he could go for military theory and air forces, and then build 2 air forces with the reserves if he has enough civil actions for all that, or just go for military theory, finish the Manhattan project. So he could still have a war in him. 3 cards taken, so 6 cards left. I don't think Polino can really do anything then here. Probabilization of science. That is really going to be good for A440, getting 15 culture here. And Polino, yeah, here we see him getting punished. That was why I said he is probably in the weakest position, getting 0 from this. He's also not going to have great impacts. Can finish the Red Cross. That's going to give him 18 plus 7, so 25 culture. That is nice to keep up with the others. Is then going to build air forces. By the way, he did use the Olympic Games. So he's not going to go for more arenas. Oh, he will. Okay, he's going to go for 2 more arenas now. But is he ready? He does have enough for 2 riflemen, so potentially could go for war next turn, show the entrenchments and fulfill 2 entrenchments plus 2 air force. That would be a lot of strength. So he is dangerous still, and now 16 culture protection. So it's relatively close as far as the culture goes. Martin has the lead, but the others are very even. And also with the culture production is relatively close besides A440. So let's see where the rest of the game will take us. Civil unrest, but no one is discontent. Wozniak will go for tanks. Can upgrade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just the 6. Okay, so 54 strength from him, grabs engineering genius and reserves. That's a lot of tanks rolling. That were a lot of rolling tanks. Is now the strongest all of a sudden. Martin opens impact of architecture. 12, 10, 14 and 4. Yeah, all these impacts. Polino's gonna suffer from these. The others here relatively close. So once again it stays very interesting. But goes up to 17 rocks, goes for Rifleman, grabs Civil Service, can go for that, fulfill another Nobel Prize, grabs Patriotism, builds a cannon, grabs Mech Egg. So next turn he can get another Nobel Prize. Stays at 47 strength. So I think we might now see wars. I think it would be very important for A440 or Polino to go for war, to really be a competition for Martin and Wozniacki. I think those two have the best position if there are no wars. And indeed, A440 goes for the military alliance with Polino, so no war from his side. He will destroy a little bit of his military. Grabs multimedia. He's gonna build one. Goes for air forces, so he also gets the Nobel Prize. Builds an air force to go up to 50 strength. Mech Egg and urban growth. So I think his plan is to build maybe one more multimedia and get a very big Manhattan project. But just for the culture, so usually when you go for Manhattan project and you just get the culture from your science rating, it's going to be 18 or higher, but that's a normal wonder. Usually you also want the strength to really matter, and I don't think that will be the case. So last chance for war will be Polino. And Polino does not go for war either. We get input of agriculture. 10, 1, 4, and 10. So very bad for Martin all of a sudden here, this one. So overall still close. Polino gets his production phase, but he doesn't get any wonder anymore. So he will increase pop. Get religion. 2 religions, 18 culture production from him. Grabs urban growth. Can go for more religion next turn. Alright, grabs a couple of these techs away from the others. Is the strongest, so there could of course be an early input of strength. For that it would matter quite a lot. Wozniacki now, he will probably get the biggest wonder. But first we get the input of government. That's not good for Wozniacki. I think 16 to 24 for Martin. 16 for A440 and 22 for Polino. I mean, Polino is at the moment the second best. I still don't think he will be a threat to Martin. But especially with that extra culture, like imagine, I think they had like he will have 4 turns of the 4 extra culture from the international tourism. So that's, yeah, 16 culture that he's gotten just from that pact. Now let's first focus on Wozniacki. He's gonna go for democracy. So very unfortunate for him that he just opened the input of government, when he now increases government by quite a bit. Then he still can destroy cavalrymen. Go for one more theater. 12 rocks. So with engineering genius, he will have some rocks left. Finishes the internet for 27. Okay, not even that big, but also not shabby. Destroys a lab to build a warrior. A bit of variety here. 52 strength. Martin opens input of strength, it comes out now, so Martin actually is the worst in that one at the moment. Once again, a very good impact for Polino. Now almost has got Martin caught up. Martin still gets a very big impact, very big space, but this one is actually going to be a lot bigger than the internet, because he gets 2 more technologies here. It's another Nobel Prize. Can even go for more military. Goes for tanks. He also plays space for 33. Yeah, this should almost guarantee, but we still have 6 impacts, so a lot can happen. But most of his impacts are really good as well. Input of strength is out, of course, but input of competition. So that's maybe why he built that tank. 216 culture for him. A440 doesn't play politics. Develops the military theory. Develops another technology, so he also gets the Nobel Prize. Upgrades food, so we already had input of agriculture, so this shows, this looks a lot like impact of balance, and he will have quite a big balance. He can't even go for one more. Oh no, he has to finish the main project for 21. Alright. 21 from that is not shabby. Paulino opens Impetus of Happiness, 12, 4 only for Martin, 14 and then 16. I mean, yeah, the two wonders of the wonders made a big difference here. That's why Paulino was still looking fine, but he already finished his wonder. The others all got theirs. But still, I think Paulino might be looking at a better position than A4 and 40. So let's find out what he will do in his last turn. Gets another religion indeed. One more pop. One more mine. A bit of industry, but he's very bad in balance. That's where A4 and 40 could get him. First one is progress. 22, 18. Paulino gets 8, A4 and 40, 16. So yeah, these are the standings right now. 10 culture difference between the first two. So I think we saw it relatively early on. And I think we made the right call. Or Martin made the right call accepting that bad pact for him. Or good for him, but a lot better for Paulino than Impact of Tourism. Because Paulino can't catch up with Martin still. But these two guys and the lower two guys, that could get interesting with these impacts. Technology, 24. Very big technology, sorry, Martin. And A4 for the even more, 28. Yeah, that is rough for Paulino. But this also makes it maybe close between A4 and 40 in Wozniacki, because you still get the extra culture from Bill Gates. Next up we have industry, 11, 8, 3 only, and 8. So it gets closer here in the lower half. Next up we have culture, 5, 15, 0 and 10. So actually Paulino will overtake A4 and 40 once again. Next up we have Input of Harmony, 16, 20. Even this is not super. Everything is relatively close still. I mean, what do you expect? It's the round of 16. All of these players have proven in 5 rounds before this that they were great players. But the last impact that we have is indeed balanced. 10, 12, 0 and 14. So A4 and 40 overtakes Paulino again. And then he gets even a little bit of an extra boost, but not enough to catch up with Wozniacki. So Martin actually winning this and getting a lot closer than I thought there for a minute. Wozniacki putting up a great fight, just 9 culture difference here. And overall, really, really close. So well played and congratulations to Martin. Really impressive game by him. And of course, super, super important in this semi-final of the World Championship. Winning the 4-player game is a great start. And yeah, very, very interesting game. Hope you guys enjoyed it a lot. We will take a look at the current situation in this group now. Where we can see the finished games, but the standings, Martin is in position 1 and he is looking very, very good. So I think, yeah, this group is probably decided. 7 games, I think you have 7 games, right? Oh, 2 4-players, right? Maybe I mixed that up, were there always 2 4-player games? Alright, so they had one more where Martin also was able to win. And then he did quite well in his 2 players. I think he's missing 1 2-player game, but that won't make too much of a difference. I think he should be safe. He should be safe to advance with his 27 points. So very impressive. Martin already basically winning this group. Playing relatively fast as well, finishing 7 games where the others only have 4, 5 and 5. So yeah, congrats Martin for winning this match and probably the group, and we're gonna see more of him in the grand final probably. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first game of the semifinals. We have more players to take a look at. You can definitely check out the games from Weidenbaum. Weidenbaum is in the upper bracket, so you can see his games there, and I think in lower 3 we have Danio, so you might check out his channel as well. I don't know if he has posted any videos yet. But yeah, very, very interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed all of this and see you for the next one again.